Very beautiful and very dangerous how the experimental tea happens. This is a common red tea without the GABA fermentations. Hi dear friends, and welcome to Georgia. I'm in Georgia now, and actually right now I'm in Ananuri old castle, and also here's a very old church from 17th century. But why I'm here? Of course I like to look at and visit wonderful destinations in Georgia, but actually here we for tea, because we have tea factory in Uzurgeti and I have tea house in Tbilisi where yesterday I had a tea session, and now I want to travel to my father who lives in the north of Georgia in Kozbegi. Modern name of this place is Stepan Smida. There's also a lot of tourists now because it's summertime. And yeah, so this video will be about our travel across Georgia, our work with tea. Yeah, maybe we'll look some beautiful places also. So please take a look. Welcome to Georgia.这条路就是比较高的那个，是水帘的，对，是不是水帘的？
哦，你是说的额格纪念碑是吗？不是那个，我是说的就是这个地方啊，然后拍的一个照片是这个安纳鲁里城堡的一个拱，透过那个拱。
We're passing one of the most famous Gudauri Pass. It's actually also a ski resort, and this is one of the most dangerous roads not only in Georgia but I think worldwide, because it's a snake road. You can take maybe more than an hour, at least maybe 2 hours sometimes, depending on the traffic. But soon now Chinese company building a tunnel, so soon it will be, I think, maybe not closed, but you can only use it as attraction, not for practical issues. Very scenic, very beautiful, and very dangerous. If you drive here, be accurate. With my father Luka, or Irakli, original name, and yeah, in English, on английском, да. He think I speak in Chinese, but I speak in English now. Yeah, so we're doing some tea, red cement, Khoncha, red cement tea in Kazbegi in Georgian mountains. Just celebrating when I can meet him for a moment. It's a wonderful time. Yeah. So we on the way to Azurgeti, and now we are in small Caucasus Mountains, almost on our factory in Guria, where we're planning to spend 1 week there to work with the tea, maybe produce something, and it will be great week. So we arrived to our factory, finally. We're located in Azurgeti, Gurianta village. And here's our very tiny factory, we can say like a farm, very small factory where we process some humble amounts of tea, but we do like experiments and we do like take care about what we do. So especially this time I arrived for a week to stay here, and my friends, partners, colleagues arrived here, and we also experiment with tea. And we also trying all the teas which was produced before that, because the season here started pretty early. Actually, it's end of April till almost October we can process tea, depending on the year. But now beginning of July, so we're already kind of in the middle of the season. So now we will process some tea. Here is our humble, cozy factory. Actually, I think maybe you already seen it before. If you're not, you can just type Georgia in the search on my YouTube channel, and you will see some videos from previous years. How do we develop the factory? Now the guys were preparing the leaves for rolling after long withering, because we made a withering around 24 hours to make good red tea or black tea, how we call it. And later also we already received some just 12 kg of fresh leaf for some experiments. So we do some mostly small batches, not a big amount of production, but we like to experiment a lot, and also later on, as soon as we develop some new technology, we also implement in our other facilities, like in Thailand, Vietnam, and even in China. So here we have rollers, fermenter, some roasters, and also GABA machine, and of course dryer. So actually that's all we have here. But 4 small batches kind of enough. I can say how many times I already explained what we are doing here on the factory, but while we are here, still let me explain a little bit about the rolling. Why we do rolling? Depending on the type of the tea, because for example, you can roll green tea, oolong, black tea, some other types, but now we make red, black tea, and this tea we roll specially to activate some process, microchemical, biochemical process in the tea leaf to start a fermentation. Because right after rolling, we start fermenting on the tea. So what we're doing now, actually you are looking at how the experimental tea happens. The guys waited for me yesterday, but today we arrived a day later on a factory, and they prepared especially for me some material to process. So this material kind of stayed a bit longer for one day. This is why some tea already, which we plan to make some red tea, already kind of dry. And what we make out of this tea, of course, we will make white tea, because if it's dry, it's no reason to roll. We just take some tea out to make it more thinner layer, not so thick layer. In this case, the tea will be dry faster, wither faster, and the need may be wither 2-3 more days, and it will be great white, Georgian white tea. We need a little bit longer time. They use a traditional bamboo pans for the withering. Yeah, and now they just want to make a very thin layer, so don't make it too thick maybe. And here we are doing fermentation. Actually, we do it very differently depending on the amount of the tea. Now we still have quite a lot of tea. We are in the middle of the season, as I already told, so we have some amounts. And here we have a tea covered with a fabric, just a cotton fabric. We spray the water, and it's have already color of the tea. And inside, of course, we have special baskets for tea, which now are fermenting. Very good aroma. Yeah, fresh loose leaf Georgian tea. Sometimes actually I also like to drink tea just before even the drying technology, but here we have this one. So the fermentation is finished, and here we have the tea, which now we will put for final drying. Actually the last step for red tea. This is a common red tea without the GABA fermentation, so we just make around 10 hours of fermentation, and we have absolutely wonderful fruit flavor and aroma. Yeah, it's great. So now we just need to dry it. So now we just let the tea dry finally, and put it in a drying shelf. We will dry it at around maybe 90 degrees at 2.5 hours. Make the final step. Oh, the aroma is great. Let's make our tea better. Yeah, we just find out that last year the second motor actually in this drying shelf was broken. This is why we had some issues during the drying, and they need to use much thinner layer for drying. But now they can put a little bit more tea, because actually hot air now spread equally all around the shelf. This is how we cook just on the second floor of our factory. They have some small kitchen, and we have some dinner soon with fresh vegetables straight from the village. Yeah, now we'll have a wonderful dinner. Here is our cozy dinner, and I like mostly from the local products actually, especially the cheese. I like the local cheese. This actually covers up the problem of local cows. So local cows are everywhere. They pooing on our tea field sometimes with very organic fertilizer actually, and yeah, and of course the cheese and local tomato and everything, yeah, and of course hachapuri, traditional Georgian food. Good morning from our tea factory, and now we opening the vacuum machine, the camera for GABA tea processing, anaerobic fermentation, almost opened. Yes, and here it is. Wow! So here we have bags with the tea inside. Yes. And a lot of bags actually, because yesterday we put it quite strong to have a real vacuum inside, and now we will need to wither it again. But actually you can do the vacuum fermenting on the different stages of tea processing, and depending on what technology you use, and we often use quite experimental technologies which we develop ourselves. Now we will start also special fermentation process. Here already finished the regular fermentation. We cover the tea after rolling with a wet fabric just to protect it from the heat, because now it's plus 35 here, and we will put the tea inside the bags to additionally ferment it in vacuum. Yeah, and this will be it was fermented a little bit differently. I can't say why or how, because it's kind of a secret. I'm already showing too much, but let it go. We just rolled a fresh leaf. Actually, in the morning on the factory we put a lot of tea for drying from yesterday fermentation, and also some tea for withering, so mainly processing at the same time. And now the most important one, we just rolled all tea from day before yesterday, so it was withered for more than 24 hours. And now it's ready for rolling. It's already rolled. We can see the perfect flash here, like one bud, first leaf, and the second leaf, two leaf, one bud material here. And now we will put it for the GABA fermentation to process the GABA-butyric acid, anaerobic fermentation. For maybe 8-10 hours we need to process it, and after, yeah, we will make a final dry. Опа, опа, опа. So now I'm closing the vacuum tube here, and actually we can say that one of the most difficult parts that you need to wither tea for several times. Also, as soon as you vacuum ferment, you need to make it longer than the regular fermentation, and also it takes longer time. For some tea it can be up to one day or even more. Just additional processing. It means that you can't actually use the factory space during this time and process more tea. This is why the GABA tea all the time overall expensive than the other ones. So that's quite difficult to manage properly. So the noise on the factory doubled because we start the GABA machine and now already start extracting the oxygen out, and we will wait 8-10 hours till it's finished. For me, Georgian tea is not just another project. It's a tribute to my roots and a desire to create a truly good product almost from scratch. It's, you can say, a form of creativity as well as an application of my knowledge I've accumulated in 15 years working with Chinese tea. I hope you enjoy our tea.
we will continue to share updates in our experiments. Thank you for watching, subscribe to the channel, and see you soon.